Hello everybody! So glad you could join me for this little short informative video. In my live yesterday or last night, my late night, one of my subscribers came in who actually sent this, I forget what you call it, wood burner or soldering iron. It gets really hot. And I use one of these, or this one, to put holes in my totes and my buckets for drain holes, to put the spouts in when I plant my plants in there. I also use it for stuff like this, my little containers. Now this was a cat treat container, 20 ounce. And you can see I put holes in it. This is what I used to make the holes right there. It's just the size of the big part of that, which those holes are plenty sufficient to do what I want it to do. And what I do with it is, you can unscrew the lid, fill it full of leaves from your garden, like cabbage leaves, collard leaves, any kind of leaf like squash leaves, anything like that, potato peelings, and you make your own little composting container in each individual pot, and it continually feeds your plants because the moisture stays in here from your soil. You can even run water in here whenever you're watering, or compost tea, and it keeps it moist. And you got a lid on it, and these, you bury it about that deep, so there's no gnats, no mosquitoes, no flies, gnats, or anything like that that's going to swarm around it. They make perfect little mini compost bins to put in each tote or 5-gallon bucket. Now the size of the container depends on, this is perfect for maybe like a 18-gallon tote. This size right here, 20. You can even put it in a 5-gallon bucket. It just depends on what you got planted in there. This one I'd probably put in the 5-gallon bucket. This is a Folgers coffee tin, and I say tin, but it's not tin, it's plastic. Everything's made out of plastic, and these little lids just pop right off, so they make perfect little mini compost tea pots that you bury that deep in your pot or your bucket or your tote, your 18-gallon tote, or your raised bed even. You could put 2 of these in a raised bed, put one in each end, kind of. That way it would take care of the whole raised bed, keeping it supplied with compost tea, fertilizer, plant food for your plants. Or you can you can take a handful and just put them up under the dirt. But this is an easy way to do it, so you don't have to keep digging in your raised bed or your pot to bury leaves or banana peelings or stuff like that. Just put them in one of these, put a lid on it, and let it go to work for you. You can walk away and leave it. It's going to be working. So I wanted to show you that because it's a real neat way to do, mini composting bins to put in each pot or tote to continually feed your plants. You still water them with compost tea like always. Still do, other things to keep your plants fed. But this is one of the great ways. If you don't want to throw all your scraps in a compost pile, start putting potato peelings, banana peelings, any type of fruit peelings in there. It'll break down and supply your plants with nutrients they need to grow and produce really good vegetables. Or you may already have your compost pile full and you need somewhere to put those other scraps. So put them in these, spread it around your garden. Feed your plants in each individual pot and tote. Your plants will greatly appreciate it, I'll assure you. And like I've done sometimes when I go around to water with compost tea, I'll take the lid off of this and I'll run a little bit of compost tea down there to make sure I keep it wet and moist so it breaks down real good. Otherwise, here in Texas, they may dry completely out. And I did leave a little bit of water retention area right down here. That helps a little bit too. And I did the same with this one. You can see it's raised up maybe a ½ inch. Not much, just enough to keep moisture in there. And it helps break down the peelings and stuff. And that's one way you can put your potato peeling scraps in your pots with other stuff growing, and you don't have to worry about potatoes growing in your pot, because they're going to be in here. The heat is going to break them down. They're not going to start growing. So that's just a really good tip that I had for you today. Let's see. I was trying to think of some other things. And you know, I started growing my potatoes in the grow bags. And right now I got to go out there and start building them up with soil. Because the one thing about potatoes when you grow them, like when you grow them in the ground, you'll make a row, right? You'll make a row. You'll plant your cut potatoes. When they start growing and they get maybe that tall, you start hilling them up. And what I mean by hilling them up is you bring more dirt in and pile it up around the plant. And every place that you add more soil, it'll put out shoots to put more potatoes. So the more you can pile it up, hill it up, the more potatoes that plant's going to produce. And I'm doing the same thing in my grow bags with my potatoes. I'm going to hill them up, so to speak. I'm going to add soil, and it needs to be added right now because some of my potato plants are about that tall. So I need to start hilling them up, right on up to the top of the potato plant, and let them put out more shoots to produce more potatoes all the way up. And I'll do that off and on as they grow. I'll keep adding soil until I get to the top of the bag. That way I should have quite a few potatoes in that bag by the time I get ready to harvest my potatoes. And this is the first year I've used the grow bags, so I'm interested to see how the grow bags work compared to the totes that I planted them in, or pots, or boxes even. I found the boxes stayed too dry, but maybe the grow bags will hold enough moisture that if I keep enough compost tea on them, that they'll produce quite a few potatoes for me. I'm hoping. Because like I said, this is the first year I've tried potato bags. And I'm interested to see how they're going to work, y'all. So you'll have to join me. A lot of my gardening is experimental. You know, I try different things to see how it's going to work. And I bring you right along with me. If it works, and you'll know to do it. If it doesn't work, maybe you'll know what to change to make it work. Like here, the weather gets too hot and dry to worry about planting in cardboard boxes. I mean, I did that year and it did produce a few potatoes, but not many. The soil stayed too dry. And then with the water rationing that we got, I couldn't water them and keep them damp the way, you know, I should have been able to water them. So I'm hoping they'll do a little bit better in these grow bags. They don't cover too much space. You know, they're growing vertical, basically. And I'm able to just water them a lot easier. I mean, of course, the compost tea or the water drains out the bottom pretty much. So it's well drained, so that I should not have to worry about the potatoes rotting in the bag as they grow, because it's not going to be that wet. But it'll be damp enough that it's going to supply enough moisture to that plant to keep it alive and keep it producing potatoes for me. Anyway, that's the plan. So, that's all I wanted. And I got to get out here today and plant the rest of these chives. I think I've got enough to fill up a dish pan. And you know, you can use them just like little onions, like spring onions, but they're garlic chives. They smell and taste like an onion almost, but they have a little bit of that garlicky taste. So, and they're already sprouting. I mean, see if I can get one out of here. I mean, look at the sprout on the top of that little bulb, that little garlic bulb. Garlic chive bulb. That That little sprout is about 1 inch long. It wants to grow. It says, get me out of this bag and get me in the dirt and let me grow. So that's what I'm going to do. Later today, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to bury these in some, just put them down right to the top of where the shoot comes out in the dirt and let them start growing, because that's what they want to do. So that's all I've got for you right now. I hope y'all have a blessed day. If you have any questions, join in one of my lives and I can answer them right then. Or if you have questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section. And I usually periodically check my comments, try to every day, and I answer questions or make comments. So if you have a question, I can answer it in the comments as well. So with that, I'm going to wish y'all a good day. Thanks for hanging out with me today and listening to some of my tips. I hope it helps you with your garden. And I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye now.